been 2 days of serious mind battles, managing stresses from those sleepless nights, and not to mention the headaches from rethinking their strategies. Yes, the Super Six is back today, and they are so back for more. I know that some of you may think that this is more than just a touch of madness. Well, we agree. Welcome to the WPT Philippines Poker Madness.
Poker Madness is the first leg of Season 1 of World Poker Tour Philippines. Authorized by the Philippine Gaming Corporation and hosted by Airport Casino Filipino, Poker Madness drew in 60 entries, each of whom freely parting with a 10 grand buy-in to be part of poker history in the maiden tournament of WPT Philippines.
The big turnout spells success. The WPT Philippines Poker Madness is now officially a hit. From a field of 60, the ultimate showdown has left us at the final table with only 6 survivors. This is Aaliyah Parks, and I will guide you through this first official tournament presented by World Poker Tour Philippines. Okay, let's move inside the Airport Casino Theater, where our experts Nick Gallen and Henry Ataide will call the game.
This is a great night for No Limit Texas Hold'em in the Philippines as the World Poker Tour Philippines Poker Madness Tournament reaches our final table.
Yes, I'm crazy, I'm mad, I'm excited. I don't know what I'm feeling right now. My name is Henry Ataide.
And my name is Nick Galan. Henry here beside me was the Philippine representative for the World Poker Tour Invitational held in LA earlier this year. Henry, tell us a little bit about that experience.
It was a poker player's dream. It's like basketball. You play basketball, you want to play in the NBA, playing golf, you want to play in the PGA. It was just mesmerizing. I was playing with pros. I was playing with Phil Lack, James. I was playing with Phil Ivey, Chris Ferguson. They used to call him Jesus. I was playing with movie stars, Mimi Rogers, James Woods. Well, even Dr. Jerry Buzz of the LA Lakers. What a dream come true. And this dream could happen to these 6 players.
Well, the ultimate Philippine World Poker Tour champion will have that experience. They are going to go to the U.S. and play against those folks. That alone is enough incentive for each of these 6 to bring their A game tonight, their best game. But we talked to some of them. Actually, we talked to all of them, and we got their other motivations for playing this game.
Yeah, let's watch them.
I grew up in a card-playing family. Ritual to be playing cards. It's also my occupation.
They said poker is gambling. For me, it's a mind game. It's an art. It's a minute to learn, but it takes lifetime to master.
I like poker. I like playing the game, and you know, this is a lot of fun.
It's one of those prestige tournaments for poker players. We have a very big poker family here.
Because I think it's a great experience. I mean, WP, it's fun. Like whenever somebody's all in, somebody calls, the cameras are all over. When you play poker, you have to have discipline and you should have patience.
Hobby sport and making money. It's a nice hobby, it's a nice game. And the beauty of this game is that no matter how good another player is, even a ranked amateur always has a chance to beat him.
The World Poker Tour Philippines Poker Madness Tournament was a 3-day event bringing players from all around the country and actually some other countries around the world. Each player started with a starting stack of 10,000 and they have played down to the final table.
Yes, from the beginning. At the beginning, there were 60. Now there are 6. Battling it out for the past 2 days. Almost 3 days, because they ended up last night at about, what, 11:50?
Right.
But all of that, throw it all away. Throw all the strategies away. It is now down to the final table.
It's time to meet our players. In the big stack, our chip leader tonight is an international player from Korea, Mr. Kim Tae-hyung. He's got 367,000 chips and he's playing at a seat 3.
Sitting dangerously beside him is Brian Malantic in second place with 176,000.
In the 5 seat is Mr. Ed Marcelo with 160,000 chips.
Patrick De Jesus, who says he's been on and off playing for the past 10 years, so he says, is now 4th place with 89,000 in seat number 1.
Mr. Rico De La Cruz, a longtime local poker veteran, is sitting in seat number 2 with 78,000 in chips.
And our short stack, and he's not that short, Mr. Jay Castro with 12,000 sitting in seat number 6.
The World Poker Tour Philippines Poker Madness Tournament will be directed by none other than Mr. Emmy Muncal, one of the finest tournament directors in the country.
We're continuing on from where we left last night. We've got 4 minutes 27 seconds on the 14th level. Our blinds are 4,000, 8,000, and 1,000 antes. Dealer, shuffle up and deal. Good luck, guys.
Okay, Nick, and the WPT Philippines chip count is brought to you by Ray-Ban. Change your views. We have number 2, Mr. Brian Malantic, with 176,000 chips, and the leader, Kim, Mr. Kim, with 376,000 chips. Here they go.
Mr. Kim has a very commanding position here entering the first hand of the final table. Jigs Castro is in a real tight spot. He's going to have to probably make a move now
on you.
with 12,000 chips.
Ooh, with a 5-4. That's where you go. And Jigs.
Jigs pulls appeals an ace and a 6 offsuit. This is as good a time as any to do it.
All in.
All in, of course. What else has he got? He doesn't want any TV time, does he?
With 12,000
He wants
chips.
to double up, Henry. He wants
Sir
to.
Patrick.
He wants to either get the heck out of here, go home happy, or double up and have a shot at it.
He
right?
will be given his 5 minutes of fame,
Rico.
but it may continue with
You're on the
Mr.
button.
Charles Bronson
And
over here,
Rico
Rico.
folds as well. Kim?
Okay, now the chip leader, Mr. Kim. Shall he get into the action?
Well, he's got the chips to make the call. It's only going to cost him 12,000, but
Kim does not
he
call.
figures he's not going to mess around with a
Jigs
10 and a 6. He
all in
might leave
bet.
the job up to Brian Malantic, our second stack.
Brian asks how
Okay.
much to
Oh,
call.
ace jack. Okay, that doesn't sound too good for Jigs.
Well, this is a no-brainer, as they say in the business.
3,000 more to call.
He's got to bust. He's going to try to bust him out.
And Brian calls.
Okay, here we go. First hand, first table, heads up immediately.
Okay, players.
Brian has Jigs very, very well dominated.
Jigs
Jigs'
shows
only live
ace,
card is that 6 of
spades, and
diamonds.
6 of diamonds. And Brian shows ace of
He
clubs.
can smell it
jack of
already.
diamonds.
I like the way he put his lips on his tongue on his lips. This is gonna be
Licking your
good.
chops.
Licking your chops.
Pick up a few more chips. The flop is completely harmless for Brian. Brian remains ahead on the turn, and Jigs is eliminated in 6th.
What was your thought and what was your initial strategy when you actually arrived here today?
Well, I only had 12,000 in chips against thousands, 100,000s from my 5 opponents. So I only had one move to make, and that's push it all in. Unfortunately, Brian had ace-jack, so I was dominated.
Any plans that we might be able to find out about?
Well, I'll be back, that's for sure.
My name is Jigs Castro Arteaga, and I am a chemical engineer by profession, and I have my own formula. The 3 Ps: personality analysis, perception, and patience.
Okay, we have an engineer with 3 Ps. Okay, I took up commerce. What about you? You have any letters hidden in your jacket?
Maybe the 3 Cs: cash, chicks,
Jigs
and
is out.
cards.
Okay.
6th place. 5 players remaining.
Okay, so we have 5
Dealer,
players,
deal them the cards.
and we have the button on Mr. Kim.
Brian was the only player who made a profit on that last hand, having picked up Jigs' all-in for 12 more thousand, plus the blinds and antes. Mr. Kim remains in the chip lead position. And here's our WPT cam, which gives us a up-close and personal look at their whole cards. Heck of an innovation, this camera.
Yes, wouldn't anybody want to have that? I'd like to have one.
It's on you.
We'll have to call the airport casino to how we can steal that. Oh, sorry, we can't say that, right? Okay, we have Rico Mambo here with a...
Rico folds.
Oh, he folded. He even beat me to it.
Kim?
Have you played with Rico before?
Yes, I have actually a couple tournaments. He's a good player, and he's a veteran poker player, so he knows what he's doing.
Okay, so Mr. Kim calls, raises 12,000 chips. Wow.
Races to 20,000.
So what's he doing? What's he trying to show?
Well, he's playing on the button, so he's in position. He's got an ace, and he's got the big stack. He's putting pressure on the 2 players behind him to decide whether or not they're going to want to play the big stack. Brian is not going to want to bang up against the big stack. He's looking for a big hand. He has a Jack-10 offsuit. He knows that that hand has a lot of equity in most pots. As you can see, he's not a big underdog based on the percentages.
So he goes out, he goes out. So now we have Ed. He just called immediately without thinking.
Ed's calling with his 7-9 suited. Couple of spades there. Now, having watched Ed play over the last couple of days, he's a very good player after the flop. Now, he's out of position here against a big stack, so he's taking a bit of a risk.
And the flop shows.
Well, with 65,000 chips, I think it's worth the risk with just Mr. Kim. But then, I like what you said, he's bumping into the wall. You know, he's got this guy with the biggest stack right now.
This is not a bad flop for Ed. He's actually caught an open-ended straight draw, needing a 6 or a jack on the turn or river. Mr. Kim, this flop has missed Mr. Kim entirely.
And he checks. Well, he's trying to, shall we say, bait Mr. Kim? No.
Well, you know, he hasn't made his hand yet, and he's actually behind at this point, but he's got the best draw.
So that check was not a baiting check, right?
No, that 3's a blank, and you'd expect to see a bet coming out now from Ed. Ed saw Kim checked in position.
Yeah, he's counting.
So he's going to try to take this pot down right here.
He does bet.
Raises to.
And how much did he throw in?
16,000.
He bet 16,000.
He put 16,000 bucks into this pot. Now Kim has to think about this very carefully. He's got nothing but air on this board.
Okay. So what does Ed hope to get on
a fold? He wants a fold.
Okay. At this point, a fold. Okay.
This is a semi-bluff by Ed, meaning he has nothing and most likely he's behind, but it works.
It works. It very works.
He gets his fold.
Okay, and so after Ed winning, takes a breather. We take a breather from this World Poker Tour madness. And we are back in the World Poker Tour Philippines Poker Madness at the Pagcor Theater. And here we are, the chip counts by Ray-Ban. Change your view. We have number 2 still, Brian Malantic with 198,000, and Kim Tae-hyung with a commanding lead of 328,000 chips. Here we are in hand number 3. Who will take it with a 5,000, 10,000 blinds?
These guys are settling in now. It's hand number 3. Hopefully getting into their grooves, their respective grooves. Most of these guys are experienced tournament players. I don't know how much television experience they have, however.
I think this is the first time they're playing on TV. You just imagine everybody watching them. Their parents, their wives, their children. Everybody wants to stay long.
Well, you've been there yourself, Henry. What's it like to play on TV?
Oh, scary. You know, you feel so cold, and then when you start winning, you feel so warm. And when you start losing, you feel so cold, and you don't want to be putting your jacket left and right. So it's very tough. It's very tough, especially when you're running after Mr. Kim with such a high stack. Oh, Rico finally calls with a King Heart 9 diamonds.
Rico limps into this pot. It's going to cost Kim 5,000 bucks to play with Queen 10 offsuit.
Kim, 5,000 more.
He's thinking. He looks at Rico. He's probably afraid of Rico. I would. Oh, he calls. No problem. He's got a 10,000. Why would he call at that point? What do you think? What's he thinking?
Well, he probably likes Queen 10. I mean, most of us have, you know, hands that we like to play with. It's not costing him too much against what he's got in his stack.
And Brian checks.
Brian, and he was playing out of the small blind, so it was only, you know, he had a 50% discount coming in already.
See, King, we have three of clubs, 5 of hearts, and King of clubs.
Now, this gives Rico top pair.
Action's on you.
But Kim is the first one, so what's he thinking?
Rico has top pair and position, so he's going to get to see what these guys do.
As usual, Mr. Kim, methodical, counting. He has a pattern. If you notice his pattern, he starts counting. He has chips that he just keeps putting on his right hand while he's keeping his stack on the left.
Kim leads out with a bet of 25,000, with a pretty nice bluff coming out, coming from first to act, you know. But this puts pressure, of course, on Brian
with a low pair, pair 3,
with bottom pair.
That's because he hit the 5. I think Brian will get out. Oh, of course. Yeah, he's got 2 guys in front of him. I think he's.
So Brian talks a wee bit of smack there, asking Mr. Kim, "Did you make that bet because you hit that middle pair, the 5?"
Oh, well, he'll be surprised because we have Mr. Charles Bronson Rico here with a top pair.
Okay, this is interesting for Rico because Rico's got to now decide whether Kim is sitting on a king as well, a pair of kings. In which case, the kicker comes into play. We've got 2 little cards along with that king on that flop. And Rico is now going to have to wonder whether that 9 kicker is good enough.
And with a raise of 25,000 as compared to just calling the blinds, I mean, you know, he must be really thinking, but this guy's an old pro. Probably will give him a little scare. Oh, good close-up. Those shades fit him well, right?
Yeah, it gives him a real Charles Bronson-esque look, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like he'll whip out a 45 from the back of his pants at any time.
Yeah, or an M16, one of those mounts. I think he's going to call, but the question is he going to raise or try? He's undecided right now. You're right. He's thinking about his kicker. He's got a 9 diamond, and he's saying Big Slick gets him. He's looking.
Now, he's in the tank here. When we say in the tank, means he's deep inside himself wondering what to do.
And he goes all.
And he correctly.
No, he leaves the stack.
He goes mostly in.
Mostly all in because he still wants another hour on TV. Okay. So he raises another 25,000, and what will Mr. Kim do?
Now this raise makes it very interesting. Now, I mean, Kim is sitting here. Okay, most of his chips are in, but he's left himself a couple of blinds in his stack. What's he doing? What's he got? Kim is on a stone cold bluff. He's just been looked up.
Okay,
and he throws it away.
That's the first time I ever saw an almost all-in bet by Mr. Rico. Congratulations, Rico, for giving us a new poker line, almost all in. We now turn you back to Aliyah.
We have good days and not so good days, but poker players come in all sizes, types, and shapes. Here at the WPT Philippines Poker Madness, we are totally mad about No Limit Texas Hold'em. Here is how you play it.
The name of the game is No Limit, No Limit, No Limit, Texas Hold'em.
Any combination taken from 2 cards in the hole plus 5 community cards at the center of the table make up a player's 5-card hand. The whole cards are dealt face down, and only the player and the WPTP camera can see them. The set of 3 cards first dealt face up is the flop. The 4th card is the turn. And the final community card is the river. Betting takes place clockwise between deals, except for the obligatory small and big blinds, which are taken before the first deal from the 2 players left of the dealer button. Any player can push all his chips onto the felt and add them to the pot anytime. The bets and the ante, if any, make up the pot. The best 5-card hand wins the pot.
Okay, welcome back to the World Poker Tour Philippines Poker Madness in cooperation with World Poker Tour. Okay, how international can we get? World Poker Tour. So we have blinds now. What are the blinds now, Nick?
The small blinds at 5,000 and the big blinds at 10,000 with antes of 1,000.
Okay,
so these guys are in a little bit of pressure. Pat at 101,000 chips has about 10 big blinds left in his stack.
Kim will raise.
Yeah, to those who don't know, I mean, to those who are not so used to what you just said, we would say big blinds. Normally, you compute the number of chips you've got up to how long you can last with the blinds hit you, right?
Yeah, I mean, different players have different rules of thumb for, defining when they are short stacked in a tournament. I tend to think that if I've got 10 big blinds left in my stack, I'm going to have to make a move very soon, and I'll be looking to pick my spot when to do that.
And Brian's been avoiding Mr. Kim, huh? You noticed?
Again, a mark of experience. Brian doesn't want to mess around too much unless he's got a monster. Monster is a term we use for a big hand. He doesn't want to play against the bigger stacks or people who can put a big dent in him.
With an ace in hand, would you automatically call, or would you, ace deuce?
You know, there's only really one answer to any poker question. It depends.
Okay.
You know, it depends on things like what position am I in the betting sequence, what the size of my stack is, how big the size of the stacks and the playing styles of the guys, what the table texture is like. There's a million things. So.
And here's Rico doing his other routine, flipping, flipping, flipping. Remember, he got Mr. Kim to fold a while ago. So. That's another, I would say, one of the ways that affect you also when you're thinking after you get hit by one guy. You start thinking, bullets are going, oh, he calls the 15,000. He does not believe Mr. Kim.
Heads up.
And after a win, I guess you have all the confidence in the world to go for it.
And the flop shows.
He bounces on Mr. King to say check. Is that allowed?
Yeah, he's trying to influence Kim's behavior, so I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
He should have learned to say check in Korean.
And with a...
he did say check.
With an imposing look like Rico has.
Okay, so you
he can be a pretty convincing guy.
So does this help anybody? 5, 7, 8, 8, oh.
30,000.
Rico's looking for a straight. And he immediately raises without thinking.
30,000.
Show of force. Show of trips. Show of sets.
Show of pure muscle.
With mustache to follow.
Yeah, we're seeing the goonish Rico make his move. But you know what? Why not? He did it. He just successfully did that to Kim, the previous hand. And he's hoping that he can do this again now.
After what he did a while ago. So it's playing in his mind right now. What's he want to draw? What's he thinking of?
Kim needs a 6 to draw that straight. He knows there's a very good chance, or Rico is trying to make him believe that he's now playing against trip 8s. So drawing to that ace won't be helpful. Kim figures he's got 4 outs in that deck, but we know that Rico's holding that 1-6, right?
That's the beauty of the camera. We can talk all we want here tonight.
Actually makes us look like we know what we're doing.
Exactly, right? Exactly. But like what you said, in poker, it all depends. So he's getting a little replay of what happened a while ago, and he's thinking, shall he call his embassy for help? No. What do you think? Rico's really giving him a big stare. Does this help you? Does this give you signs?
In what sense, Henry?
Like, for example, like he's staring at you, and is he trying to get you nervous, or should you stare back? Because they're still waiting for a river. He folded,
and Rico runs a successful bluff. Take down a pot.
Oh, he shows to the crowd the card that he has. Oh, yeah, that's right. He shows it to everybody else. I like that, actually.
Ako si Rico de la Cruz, residing at Mandaluyong. Pwede nila akong tawagin Rico the Coin Man.
And welcome back to the World Poker Tour Philippines Poker Madness with Rico bluffing again Mr. Kim with blinds at 5,000 and 10,000 now. So what do you think Mr. Kim is thinking right now after 2 outs?
10,000 to call.
Well, after losing a couple of pots to Rico, I don't know. I mean, Kim's played a solid game, for 3 entire days.
And he folds as well.
A player who's been in a lot of tournament situations is not going to be overly fazed by 2 hands.
Well, he won't be fazed with 2 lovely ladies in his hand right now with a pair queen. Oh. When I get a pair, my heart starts beating fast, so I don't like having pairs when I'm playing cards.
Raise.
Oh, he raises 15,000.
25,000.
Sorry. 25,000. 25,000, sorry.
20,000 more for you.
So he opens for 25 grand. Brian is looking at an ace-10 of spades. This is a tough decision for Brian. He's playing the big stack and a big raise. But Brian has seen a couple of big bets. One big bet 2 hands ago get laid down by Kim.
So, Why is everybody giving Kim a stare?
Well, they can't get any verbal cues from him, so they're going to be trying to pick off all the non-verbal stuff.
Okay, definitely. And he took off his shades.
Trying to steal our blinds?
Give him a little talk.
Brian's asking Kim if he's making a steal attempt.
He forgot he can't understand English. Ryan can't talk English.
Brian's trying to pick off any kind of tell here.
You speak Korean and I'll answer. Yeah, now I wish I can speak Korean.
He heard us. He says, I wish I could speak Korean.
Kim?
So Brian is thinking.
You can hear something.
This is a tough decision for Brian. It's a nice-looking hand, short-handed, but he's playing the big stack, who's played a couple of pots and lost a couple of pots prior. Brian might be wondering if Kim might be on a little bit of tilt now. He's lost 100,000 chips almost in the last couple of hands.
Tilt, he could be, there's another word called steaming, no?
Yep.
So.
When a player goes on tilt, they tend to play suboptimally, pardon me, because emotion gets in the way. However, this is not a tilt situation. He's got a pair of queens.
Definitely.
So we can leave that line of conversation.
Oh, he's really taking his time, right? He's computing?
Brian's wondering whether he should come over the top, meaning re-raise Kim, and play back at him, put some pressure on him. But does he have the chips and the you-know-whats to do that, you know?
That's right. I like the way he's stacking it.
But Brian's been in these situations before. If I was going to make an educated, well, I can never use the word educated when I'm referring to myself, but if I was going to make some kind of guess, I'm thinking he might throw this away.
And Brian asks for time.
That's right.
He's asked for a little bit of time. Still trying to pick off a tell. Again, the decision here is fold or all in, I think, because I mean he's had a look at how many chips he's got.
That's right.
He knows if Kim really wants to play this pot, it's going to go to the river.
And Kim gives him a smile. Finally, now he looks back at him. If he stays any longer, I think he's going to grow a mustache like Rico.
All right, I'll call.
Oh, he calls.
Okay.
He calls. He does not go over the
Calls.
top, but he calls him.
Well, I guess both my predictions
15,000.
did not play out. I thought it was either a fold or a move or a push.
That's why we are up here.
Ed, you know, he's in a quandary now. We know that Ed likes to play, and he knows he's going to have to play soon.
It's going to be
But
Kim.
the lay down on the ace-6 was the smart thing to do after a raise and a call
Show us the
by
flop.
two guys with bigger stacks than him.
Exactly. And wow, we have 7 of diamonds,
And the
8
flop
of diamonds,
shows
6 of diamonds.
8 of diamonds, and 7 of diamonds.
Flush, straight flush.
Brian checks. Kim?
This is going to be a real fun pot to watch.
With Kim with the queen diamond, he's
is-
all over the place.
Well, Kim's now drawing a flush on the diamond. He's in no danger from Brian having 2 spades.
But
any bet, this is the type of pot where if I was in Brian's position and even breathe at that pot, I fold, you know.
40,000.
with a raise of 40,000.
Brian, 40,000 to call.
Nothing but air for Brian on this flop.
Although he is looking for a 9 to make a straight, but
that's a thin draw.
in Mahjong, it's called paningit.
4 outs for 40 grand.
Pot size 105, and he's what? He's second in stack position. He's going to lose a lot. He'd end up 4th if he calls.
Well,
him
he
this
knows,
one.
you know, if he plays this, if he plays that gut shot straight draw, he's going to have to commit and hope to draw that 4-outer by the river.
That's right. So this is a call that will lead you to all in at the end of the game. That's right. Good move of Brian. Had to fold.
Brian knows this. He's been there before.
And we're going to take a break, but before that, let's have a short pop poker quiz.
This is the final table at the World Poker Tour Philippines Poker Madness Tournament at the Airport Casino Filipino in Parañaque. Henry, tell me, how do you prepare for a final table?
So simple, Nick. First, you get a couple of candles, black, light it up, put it in a circle, get a chicken, cut the neck, and bleed all over the table, and pray to the poker god.
That's funny. I do all that, but in the reverse order.
Okay. Well, seriously, like any athlete, I think what's important is that they get to sleep well at night.
That's right.
Okay? When they wake up, don't go to work. Remember, you've got a game tonight. Don't be stressed by traffic. Get here on time. And then afterwards, you try to remember the players that you played with, what to do, what not to do. Then have your mind blank, like a blank screen.
So you advocate the Zen style.
The Zen style. Light an incense or something.
Right.
But most important, throw away all your strategies, throw away all your gimmicks that you did for the past 2 days.
Because it's a brand new game.
It's a brand new game, and you've got the camera, you've got the pressure, and you've got that chip, or how we say, that grand prize to go to Hollywood.
And you've got guys like Henry criticizing every move you make.
That's why, watch out, guys. I'll be watching you. So I guess, in a nutshell, like any athlete, you've got to be mentally prepared and physically prepared.
That's right.
And one of the ways to get prepared is to look at your chip count with Mr. Kim Tae-yoo with 335,000, but Brian went all the way down to number 4 with 122,000 chips.
Okay, dealer.
Looks like he'll be struggling. He took off his shades. We can't call him steaming, right? He's just frustrated.
No, he's not steaming. He's just, he knows he's in a new situation and he's trying to deal with that internally.
Okay, so Stone Cold Ed is right number 2.
Patrick has, with 97,000 chips, we should expect to see something significant coming out of him soon. Blinds are now, the big blinds now at 12,000.
12,000.
Leaving him precious little time, really.
So with Kim, with now Captain Kim leading the board, leading everybody with a 9-8, thinking to call.
Kim will raise.
Kim declares a raise. He's going to open this pot with his 9-8 offsuit. Talking about preparation, Kim came ready to play.
He got me off there. I thought he was just going to call. Then he goes, raise.
Not a bad little move. He's moving. He's working on the momentum he's built.
Kim raises 40,000.
34,000.
His stack has actually fluctuated very little from his original starting stack.
And he seems to be involved in every hand, except for 1 or 2, but that's about it.
Like I said, he was prepared to play.
Prepared to play.
Well, here is a hand that we know that Ed's going to want to play. Quick call by Ed.
The flop shows the 5 of clubs, the Queen of Hearts, and Jack of clubs.
Helped both players with Ed having the heart, Queen of Hearts.
But he'd have to draw to running hearts, and you know, that's a thinner draw.
20,000.
Ed bets 20,000.
He bets 20,000 to Kim.
Kim?
Well, Kim is looking for a 10.
Well, Kim's got a 4-outer here. He's going to draw that 10 by the turn of the river approximately 15 times out of 100.
Kim will
but he did open that pot.
That's
so
he has to stick to his conviction.
We'll
Show
see.
them.
But he's facing a bet, and he missed. So we'll see how Kim's mindset is.
He's looking for what we call in Mahjong.
And here it is.
Paningit.
And he comes out with a raise. He's telling Ed, "What are you doing, buddy? I had it before the flop."
Exactly, 50,000. One of the biggest bets I've seen yet before the turn.
This is gonna cost Ed 50 more grand with an ace high. These are the situations in poker tournaments when a man is put to the test.
Fighting the wall, number 2.
Yeah, you put a few chips out there, and even a few at this stage of the game is a lot.
Exactly. Ed folds. Kim takes down.
And Kim wins it again, involved in every game. So what do you think about Ed?
I think we're going to see a heck of a lot more of him in the future. He's a fine player. We see him at a lot of final tables.
Hi, my name is Ed Marcelo. I'm a professional poker player.
Welcome back to WPT Philippines Poker Madness, supervised by Casino Filipino. I got that right.
Their cards.
Okay, we have now 5 players still. Blinds are 6,000 and 12,000. So what does, we've got Brian right now. He's taken off his shades. I think he's taken off his game face. I think he, but you're right. He's a, he doesn't care right now.
And Brian folds.
Okay, from second to fourth. Oh, well. So Ed, well, Ed's on a roll right now.
Well, a poker player in a tournament, especially at the final table, you're going to find yourself in different situations. It's a very fluid environment. You may come in with a big stack, get hit a couple of times, all of a sudden you're short.
And Ed raises to 32,000.
Wow, that took the...
Nice aggressive raise by Ed with Queen-9 suited after Brian had folded under the gun.
Finally, Patrick takes off the shades and starts to think. Being the short stack guy, what do you think he's going to do?
To me, this is a no-brainer. I mean, I'd put all my chips in the middle and just, you know, clasp my hands together and look heavenward. Because there's really very little he can do with that stack going forward if he folds now.
And how many blinds has he got? I mean, very little right now.
He's got 60,000 chips. He's just paid an ante. You know, he's do or die.
And that's why he's thinking about it. And he still has Rico and Mr. Kim to think about.
Yep, he's got the blinds behind him to think about.
Plus the camera in the back also looking at him, so... So he's been tight. He's been tight the whole night. You know.
Yeah, he's been looking. I mean, one short stack strategy rather is to sit tight and hope you pick up a big hand.
And Patrick
you can push.
folds.
Now this is an extremely tight play by Patrick. At this stage of the game, I would look for any ace, any pair, and
just
I'm
go
in there.
And if you look at it, because thanks to our WPT camera, he looked like #1 a while ago. And look at Rico, ace 2. He calls. Oh no, he's still thinking about it. No, sorry. He's another move, another new move in poker history again. The kiss of death.
20,000 more for Kim.
If this were gymnastics, there'd be a couple of moves called the Rico, you know, the almost in and the
Kim calls.
and the kiss goodbye.
And the kiss goodbye.
The long kiss goodbye.
Okay, so now.
Kim flat calls the raise of Ed, and he actually turns out to be a decent call. He has Ed dominated, and he makes 2 pair on the flop.
Oh, wow, what a call, what a call, what a call by Mr. Kim. 2 pairs, 9 kicker. But Ed doesn't know that.
40,000.
Kim checks that flop, so he's trying to trap Ed.
Yeah, now is the trap, now is the bait. Now he's got him on the hook. He's doing his routine, counts with his right hand, but then he will bet with his left.
Kim is not putting Ed on a 4.
How'd you like that, okay? A little creak in the neck. Looking at him. His heart must be pounding. Control.
Well, he's either convinced right now that Ed does not have a king or a 4, and he's just figuring out what size of raise to come in with.
Kim will re-raise.
He re-raised the 40,000 too?
He actually raised, Ed made a bet, and Kim raised that bet.
Ed is thinking. You know, he wears different bonnets every game, you know. Ed folds. Okay. Okay, Kim involved in almost every pot, and we're taking a break.
I joined the WPT tournament because it's always been a hobby of mine. I love playing poker, so when I heard about it, I decided to go for it and hope to get the big win.
Okay, with Pat saying that, he's been very tight. He literally wants to be in the game.
Give our 5 finalists some cards to play with.
Well, he's hanging on by the skin of his teeth. We'll see what he does and when he does it.
6,000
and antes are 2,000. We've got a pot size of 28,000.
On Rico.
Okay, Rico now thinks. I love king deuces. I don't know, but when I get a king deuce, I just call.
Let's see how much Rico likes king deuce.
No, he doesn't like king deuce.
Well, not as much as you. Anyway.
I love king deuce. That's why everybody who sees king deuce on the table with me run away. Okay, he's got a decent hand. Queen of 5 hearts.
Kim folds as well.
But he folds as well.
Brian.
They are just hands that you just want to take a break. After Kim being involved in almost every hand, time to take a break.
It's not a bad strategy for Kim right now. Just get on cruise control a little bit.
And as we were talking about Senor Patrick, he wins 14,000 chips. Not bad for a tight player.
안녕하세요. Welcome to WPT Philippines Poker Madness.